Semenya, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
It's been already a year since the cornerstone was laid for the Millennium Dam out in the southwest. As you stand today and reflect, what do you think? What goes in your mind?
The Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam project is located in Benishangul and Gumuz regional estate in a special warada named as Guba. The Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam project is being built on the Nile River, just within 20 to 40 kilometers from the Ethio-Sudan border.
And how far is it from here?
It is, we have two routes. One is through Gohatheon, just crossing the Hedase bridge. There is a roadway that will take you about 750 kilometers. And if on the other
a good 2 days drive.
If you have a really good condition car or vehicle, you can arrive there within a day. We start sometimes at 6 in the morning. We arrive there at 6 in the afternoon. So it's a one-day travel more or less. But we are not recommending most of the time to straight drive. And the other route is through Asosa, which will take you about 850 kilometers. So it is a 2 days travel. Sometimes we use air as a means of travel through Ethiopian Airlines.
You have an airstrip in right there.
At the project site also, there is a small landing strip, not for commercial planes, but there are some planes which can carry up to 20 people. So there is
that's basically a Cessna.
Yeah, Cessna.
So 1 year, 1 year. Are you happy?
Yes.
What is the progress like? How would you describe that?
Yeah, we fortunately I personally participated in several hydropower developments like Gilgel-Gibe 1, Gilgel-Gibe 2, and compared with the progress, especially within a year, the achievement we have here at the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam project is beyond the success, I can say.
What does it mean?
Because at the early time of the project, most of the time, it is a mobilization time where you mobilize people, I mean human resource, and where you mobilize machineries, equipments. So most of the time it is a mobilization, a planning time. But here, due to the really support from the citizens, that really creates a big motivation to the people or to the parties engaged in the project. And a lot of machineries mobilized, sites already arrived, up to 700 heavy earth moving equipments. We have now.
You mean the day the cornerstone was laid?
Yes,
you already had 700
the day
trucks?
That the foundation stone was laid is on 2nd April 2011. Now.
And work started when? Immediately after?
Yeah, a little bit 1-2 months before. Of course, the contract has been already signed. There were some preparatory works which was carried out just at the time when this foundation stone was laid by His Excellency Prime Minister of the Ifritri, Meles Zenawi. So from that day onwards, a lot of activities have been done. Like recently, if you go there, you will see that up to 2 tons of soils and rocks have been already removed from the place where this dam will be constructed. This is part of the dam construction. In fact, when we are saying the construction of dam, It includes the investigation works also, which we are carrying in parallel.
Simultaneously, you are undertaking, okay.
And the foundation excavation, just to reach at the level where you will find sound rock. So the dam is a very big dam, 1,780 meter long, more or less. I'm talking a basic design. We are working on optimization also on the dam, which has 145 meter high and a volume of 10.5 million meter cube. So the type of dam that we are constructing at this place is a roller compacted concrete dam. We call it short RCC. So this roller compacted concrete dam is already chosen as it is appropriate to construct at this location for the purpose of generating now 6,000 megawatt of electricity. I will come back to how we already come to here also to by optimization. So in the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, there are two dams. In fact, one is the main dam, which I have already described earlier, and there is also another.
Does that mean 2 units?
No. You know, when you are trying to, or you are planning to generate electricity as much as possible, the cost-benefit analysis should be really something that you have to accept or feasible. So in order to make economically feasible this scheme, the hydropower plant scheme was planned just to generate originally 5,250 megawatts. Now we have already made it 6,000 megawatts. So for this purpose, for that location, you see, you have to have sufficient height, and at the same time, the water or the hydrology must be sufficient also in order to generate. So the combination of the two, that's the potential energy, will allow you to generate electricity. So this is the basic. So in order to do so, we have to construct this roller compacted concrete dam, 1,780 meter long, 145 meter high, and there is another also just at the nearby another small dam. We call it Rockfield Dam, which had 4,800 meter, approximately 5,000 or 5 kilometers, with a height of 60 meters. So by constructing this saddle dam, we call it saddle dam, it gave us an opportunity to increase the height of the dam, the main dam, that is to 145 meters. Otherwise, this 145 meter roller compacted dam would have been just smaller, with a smaller height, less 60 meters. So in order to make it 145 meters high dam, there is a mountain, two mountains. In between that two mountains, it was necessary to construct this saddle dam. By constructing this saddle dam,
it was in the original plan, was it?
Yeah, yes, it's a basic design. So it's included in the basic or foreseen or already shown in the basic design. So by constructing this dam, the main dam is on the Blue Nile or the Nile River, and the other dam is just to close that small opening that exists between mountains, so that by constructing these two dams, it is possible now to reserve or accumulate 75 billion meter cube of water behind the dam, and this will cover a surface area of 1,680 meters, 80 square kilometers. Is huge.
It's very, very huge.
So this will be achieved when the reservoir is full. So
and that will take 2 to 3 years after the dam is constructed.
Yes. We will not hold or stop the normal flow of water
while you keep on filling that dam.
Yes. There is by its own methodology, method statement, procedure, to fill the dam. So this is already included in the methodology of construction of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. So in order to really finalize the construction of the dam, we have to excavate the area at the bottom level, at the foundation level.
What do you stand today, excavation work?
About 2 million metric cube of material have been removed from site. It is a big amount. In parallel to that, we are constructing also a big bridge that we can allow to cross easily the Nile River, because when you are constructing a dam, I mean, you can imagine a flow of a river, a flow of water in the river. So there is the right bank of the river and the left bank of the river, and the actual river where the water will flow or is flowing. So this dam will lie on the river bed. A central portion of the dam will lie on the river bed, and the portion of it on the right bank, and a portion of it on the left bank.
How long is that?
1,780 meter long, almost.
So that crosses.
So in order to construct this, we have to make dry the normal course of the river. Otherwise, when you put or when you try to excavate, or after excavation, when you try to put a concrete, it will be washed out.
So you have to reroute.
Exactly. So without stopping the flow of water,
certainly.
There is an activity which we call, which will be realized soon, within a year, a river diversion that will allow to divert the normal course of the Nile River, so that we can start construct on the central portion of the dam. The dam has a central portion, the left bank and the right bank. So there is always, as I have already explained to you earlier, a methodology to construct an international practice while you are really constructing a dam. So these investigation works, dam excavation, bridge construction, and there is more importantly the access roads by which we can arrive to different section of the works. The garage, these are the backbone of the project. The contractor has to organize its own facilities. For example, there are about 700 heavy duty equipments.
You're talking about trucks, right?
Trucks, and associated trucks, earth moving equipment, we call it. So just for the construction of the dam, it is dedicated for the construction of the dam, the river, and so on and so forth. So you can imagine what kind of facilities should exist there in order to maintain always the operation of this equipment smooth. So the labor camps,
they are all in place. So you estimated that, originally you thought that it would take 44 months to complete constructing the dam, finish constructing the dam. You already have done 12, so 32 months.
This is what we call the early generation. In our plan. Now, before I'm explaining this, let me brief you how we arrived at 6,000 megawatts. This is a result of optimization, which, by the way, have been carried out or proposed, recommended by the Metal Engineering Corporation. We have 2 contractors now. This is very important to know.
Yeah, exactly. Doing the civil work,
civil and the electromechanical and hydromechanical equipment manufacturing, supply, commissioning is being done by the Metal and Engineering Corporation,
which is a homegrown organization.
Company. Yes, exactly. So this is a big achievement by local company. This huge electromechanical and hydromechanical works will be made, and the optimization proposal was also submitted by Metal Engineering Corporation, and this optimization is directly, just to make you understand, previously there were 15 units, each with 350 megawatt installed capacity. Now we increased, according or based on the proposal, to 16 units each with 375 megawatt. So this is in total 16 units with 375 megawatt. Total will give you 6,000 megawatts. So they originally planned the basic design megawatt has been increased by 750 megawatt now, and this is a good achievement. There are 16 units. Of these 16 units, the 2 units are dedicated to generate electricity early, at 44 months from the signing of the contract. So that's what we meant. The 2 units out of the 60 units will be ready by 44, or at the end of 44 months. Even we are trying to minimize that month so that everything is being carried out just to meet this target. And each 375 megawatt times 2, which means more than 700 megawatt. So this is a plan. Early generation, of course, it depends on the availability of the water and the height of the dam. This has already been planned. We are not expecting to, or expected to finalize the dam to powerhouse while you are constructing the dam and while you are constructing the powerhouse and all other pertinent structures. You can also, or there is a possibility to produce electricity with these 2 units. That's why we call it 44 units, 44 months rather.
In terms of the speed, you said that it is going really well.
Yeah.
So are you comfortable that this will be the case 2 years down the line, because like you're going to fill concrete and all that stuff, and you're going to generate that locally?
Yeah.
Would there be a steady supply, and are you comfortable with the expertise that the local companies have here? I'm trying to think in terms of
that's a very important question. First of all, it's a government direction also to engage local companies, firms, so that there will be really a capacity to build such kind of hydropower plant with ourselves, with our money. So accordingly, the Metal and Engineering Corporation is now engaged in the design, manufacture, supply, it means installation and commissioning of the hydromechanical and electromechanical component of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam project. On the other hand, Salini, which is a civil contractor, will be dedicated to construct the civil parts of components of the project, and the employer with its consultant. There is a joint venture, France-based and Italy-based company. There is a joint, which is our consultant. We have an experience how to coordinate works like this. I mean, the coordination is a very important aspect in order to really achieve the target, the final target. So there is an electromechanical, hydromechanical workers, and on the other hand, civil workers. All these should be coordinated, and we are there to coordinate with our consultants, and the contractors are also well experienced. It's a matter of keeping the time, especially the time frame. So on one hand, we are really building capacity, the engagement of the local contractors, like the Metals and Engineering Corporation. It's an independent contractor for the EPCO, and Salini is another equal contractor, but for civil works. So not only the government direction also showed that not only the engagement of the contractors, as much as the quality and the quantity is there, there is opportunity also to use a locally produced materials or inputs. So so far we are performing or carrying out the various activities of the project in a good situation. Really a strong confidence that we will meet our targets.
You've been involved in Gilgel Gibe 1, Gilgel Gibe 2.
Yeah.
Well, you skipped Gilgel Gibe 3 because this came.
Yes.
So this is something that's unlike anything that you have done before. Was it quite a challenge for you think?
Well, in terms of complexity, really, Gilgel Gibe 2 already gave us a good really practice. It is complicated, even though it generates 420 megawatt of electricity. It's a masterpiece in the design aspect also, as you have already visited. Very excellent job. So the complexity here, it is very huge. Of course, the management is also something that you have to consider it very important, because there are a lot of resources that are being mobilized. Now, if you take, for example...
And a deadline to meet.
Yeah. We are working in that line. The people already engaged are experienced people. This or that way, they were participated in different hydropower developments. The local ones, I mean, and the expatriates, for sure, they are recruited on this basis. One of the criteria is practice on such kind of workers, previous workers or experiences. So
that kind of helps.
Yeah.
How many locals do you have?
Now,
I mean, laborers, technicians, and so on included.
Yeah, totally now at the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, there are 3,000 already people, or we can say community. Of these 3,000 people, or people who are engaged in the project activities, about hundreds are expatriates from different nations. So most of the time, from our past also projects, we know that from 90 up to 95% are locally engaged professionals or skilled, semi-skilled professionals. So
is that a place to be, you think, if you are someone who's looking for a job?
Yes. By the way, it is also the government's direction that to make engaged people which are competent from various localities within the country. So it is estimated up to 12,000 people might be involved in the project. So we have now different regions, nationalities. Without coming these people down to the site, there is an office that's going to be opened soon. They will
be hiring.
Yeah,
but it's very hot, isn't it? I mean, that's not something that is.
Yes,
very hot and so many demands.
So many demands. It needs your personal integrity, your personal behavior, your commitment matters. Otherwise, as you said, it is not comfortable as we are living in cities and towns. So it's very far, very remote. We are now at the border, and of course, as you said, the temperature is very high. But we are not feeling that. We have a vision to see that, to see our country progress very well and achieve whatever, especially these hydropower developments are backbone for the sustainable development. So we know that it's a backbone for our country's sustainable development, and we will be a beneficiary also as a result of this. So with this vision, all the communities working there do not feel as you said, the temperature, its distance, farness, and so on and so forth. We have really a vision, commitment.
Thank you very much for your time, Semenyo. It was a pleasure.
Thanks a lot. Thank you very much.